All right, let's dive right in. We're going to talk about something that can literally change your entire life. It comes from the amazing work of psychologist Carol Dweck, and it all boils down to two very simple but incredibly powerful ideas about your own mind.
So let me ask you a question right off the bat. Think about your intelligence, your talents, your personality. Do you think those things are basically fixed? You're born with a certain amount and that's just kind of who you are? Or do you believe you can grow them, that you can get smarter and more talented through sheer effort? Your gut answer to that question is everything. Okay, so let's break down these two fundamental beliefs. Because how you answered that question we just talked about, well, it puts you into one of two very different camps. Just look at this comparison. It lays it all out so clearly. On the left, you've got the fixed mindset. This is the you've got what you've got camp. This makes you desperate to constantly look smart. But on the right, that's the growth mindset. It's a totally different world. This is built on the belief that you can grow, which creates a deep desire to actually learn. Think about it. If you're in a fixed mindset, your whole life becomes one long, never-ending final exam. Every single situation is a test. Did you succeed? Whew, okay, you're smart. Did you fail? Oh no, that means you're not. It's this constant, urgent pressure to prove yourself over and over and over again. It's exhausting. But the growth mindset? Man, it just flips that whole idea on its head. It's not about proving you're smart. It's about getting smarter. It's about a passion for learning. It sees your talents not as the finish line, but as the starting blocks. The real potential you have is totally unknown, and the only way to find out what it is to try. Okay, so this is where it gets really fascinating, because these beliefs don't just hang out in your head as abstract ideas. No way. They create totally different realities for us, especially when we're facing the tough stuff: effort, failure, and just plain old fear. Let me tell you a story. It's about a violin prodigy named Nadja Salerno Sonnenberg. I mean, this woman was a certified genius, playing with world-class orchestras when she was just a kid. But then she gets to Juilliard, the most famous music school in the world, and something breaks. She becomes completely paralyzed by fear. And just listen to her own words there. It's so powerful. This is the dark side of the fixed mindset in a nutshell. See, if you believe you're a natural, then having to try really hard feels like you're admitting you're a fraud. And the ultimate nightmare, trying your absolute best and still failing. Because then there are no more excuses. It feels like a final judgment. So here it is, side by side. In the fixed mindset, effort is a bad thing. It's a sign you're not smart enough to begin with. And failure? Oh, it defines you. It's not an event. It's a permanent label. But in the growth mindset, effort is the magic ingredient. It's the very thing that makes you smarter. And failure? That's just data. It's a wake-up call, an opportunity to learn and try a different strategy. So let's zoom out a bit, because this isn't just about how you feel about a math problem. This stuff plays out in the biggest arenas of our lives, in the boardroom, in our most intimate relationships, and on the champion stage. Let's talk business for a second. Remember Enron? They were the poster child for a fixed mindset company. They worshipped so-called talent. They hired the smartest guys in the room and created a culture where you had to look perfect all the time. So what happened? People hid their mistakes, they blamed each other, and the whole company imploded in a massive scandal. Now, compare that to the companies that truly last. Their leaders believed in growth, they faced the ugly truth of their mistakes, and they built cultures of learning. And that's why they succeeded. And what about love? You know that classic idea that if it's meant to be, it'll just be easy? That is a total fixed mindset trap. A growth mindset understands that any real, lasting relationship takes work. It's not about finding someone who puts you on a pedestal. It's about finding a partner who sees your flaws and says, hey, let's work on this together and help each other become better people. And in sports, oh man, we are obsessed with the natural athlete, aren't we? But the greatest coaches of all time, like the legendary John Wooden, they knew that's a myth. He's basically saying talent gets your foot in the door, but it's character. That's the growth mindset in action. That's what keeps you at the top of your game. I mean, think about Michael Jordan. After his team got knocked out of the playoffs when he came back from playing baseball, a fixed mindset might have made excuses. But Jordan, no. He spent the entire summer working, training, preparing. The result? The Bulls won the NBA title the next 3 years in a row. That's not just talent, folks. That is character. Okay, so now we get to the most important, most hopeful part of this entire conversation. Ready? Your mindset is not permanent.
It's not who you are. These are just beliefs, and you can absolutely change your beliefs. You can choose to cultivate a growth mindset, starting right now. So, how do you actually do it? Well, it starts with a few steps. First, you just have to learn to hear that fixed mindset voice. You know the one. It's the one that's always judging you, that says, "What if you fail?" Second, you have to recognize that you have a choice. You don't have to believe that voice. Third, you've got to talk back to it. Argue with it from a growth perspective. Say, "Hey, maybe I'll learn something." And finally, and this is the big one, you have to take the growth mindset action. Embrace that challenge. Put in the effort. So here's the ultimate takeaway. It isn't just that effort is some magic cure-all. It's that the core belief, the deep conviction that you can develop your abilities, that's the key that unlocks everything. It's what gives you the motivation to put in the effort in the first place and to keep going when things get hard. So I'll leave you with this question, inspired by the tennis great Billie Jean King. When you look back on your life, what story do you want to tell? Will it be the story of "I could have been"? The one where you played it safe to protect your ego? Or will it be the story of "I gave it my all"? The story of someone who took on challenges and really lived? The mindset you choose today will write that story for tomorrow.